Hello guys, welcome to our Sports Pro Live video channel. You are watching Melbourne Storm versus Penrith Panthers. The match will begin very soon. Kindly make sure to subscribe. Last year grand finalists meet again with the Storm refreshed off a bye and primed to make an early statement against the four-time defending champions. On the back of devastating first-half win over the Eels, Craig Bellamy's men welcome back enforcer Lenson Asofa Solomona from the suspension that cost him a grand final appearance in 2024. The Panthers are coming off a shock loss to the Roosters in their first match at their new home ground Combank Stadium and will be sweating in a groin injury suffered by star fullback Dylan Edwards. The Storm beat the Panthers twice during the regular season in 2024, but in the game that mattered most, it was Liam Martin, Isa Yo, and Nathan Cleary standing tall as the champions wrote another remarkable chapter in grand final folklore. Team news: Storm no further game day changes after Nelson Asofa Solomona was added to the bench 24 hours out from kickoff in his return from the 5-game ban that cost him a grand final berth last year. Lazarus Valapiu drops out of the squad. Kiwi winger Will Warbrick is replaced by Grant Anderson. Panthers a late change with former Il Blaise Talagi joining the bench an hour before kickoff to make his club debut. Thomas Jenkins has come into the side at fullback with Dylan Edwards nursing a groin injury and the man originally named to replace him, Dane Lowry, dropping out due to injury on Wednesday. New recruit Isaiah Papali is set for the first match since the club's Las Vegas and has been named on the bench on his return from a hip injury. Brad Snyder is 18th man. Storm Panthers. Storm Papenhuisen, Anderson, Howard, Mini, Coates, Munster, Hughes, forwards Utoikamanu, Grant, King, Bloor, Katoa, Loirio, interchange Wishart, McDonald, Kamika, Asofa Solomona, reserves Bradley. Whereas Panthers team list Thomas Jenkins, Tago Alamoti, McLean, Cole, Cleary, forwards Leota, Kenny, Smith, Sorensen, Martin, Yeo, Papali, Henry, Garner, Talagi, reserves Brad Snyder. Stats: in terms of his stats before the match, the Storm have won 8 from the 9 against Panthers at Army Park. Panthers winger Brian Toyo has scored 9 tries in 12 games against the Storm. Storm winger Xavier Coates has scored 31 tries in 28 games at Army Park. Panthers captain Nathan Cleary records 14 points to break the club's point scoring record. Halfback Jeremy Hughes will make his 150th appearance for the Storm. So the match will begin very soon. Kindly make sure to subscribe and thank you so much for watching. What better way to kick off round 3 of the 2024 Test Club Premiership than a grand final rematch some 165 days after Panthers drowned the Storm to make it 4 premiership on the trot. The defending champs arrive in Melbourne without star fullback Dylan Edwards and coming off a rare loss to the Roosters, a team they have dominated in recent years. The Storm ran riot against the Eels to open their season in style at Army Park and will be to build out an imposing record that has seen them win 21 of their past 23 games on home soil. So this was the preview. Kindly make sure to subscribe and thank you so much for watching. As it happened, Storm hold off Panthers in epic grand final rematch. What better, what better way to kick off round 3 of the 2025 Telstra Premiership than a grand final rematch some 165 days after the Panthers downed the Storm to make it 4 premiership on the trot. The defending champions arrived in Melbourne without star fullback Dylan Edwards and coming off a rare loss to the Roosters, a team they have dominated in recent years. The Storm ran riot against the Eels to open their season in style at Army Park and were out to build on an imposing record that saw them win 21 of their past 23 games on home soil. In the end, it was the Storm who snuck home in pulsating contest that featured 10 tries and game-ending injuries to Nathan Cleary and Nick Miani. Follow all the action round 3 of the 2020 on nrl.com's live blog. Melbourne Storm triumph over Penrith Panthers in grand final rematch. In a dramatic showdown, the Storm edged past the Panthers despite key injuries to both teams. The Melbourne Storm defeated the Penrith Panthers 30-24 in a grand final rematch held on March 20, 2025 in front of a lively crowd at Army Park. This thrilling contest unfolded 165 days after the Panthers claimed their fourth consecutive premiership and marked a significant return to form for the Storm in a match filled with drama. The Storm faced a formidable opponent in the Panthers, who entered the game without their star fullback Dylan Edwards due to a groin injury. The Panthers, however, lost their playmaking captain Nathan Cleary just 7 minutes into the match. A heavy collision with the Storm number 7, Jeremy Hughes, resulted in a category on concussion for Cleary, forcing him off the field. Despite these setbacks, the Panthers demonstrated resilience, particularly with young Jack Cole stepping into the spotlight after Cleary's departure. In his 13th NRL match, Cole was instrumental in guiding his team through a challenging situation. Meanwhile, the Storm also encountered injury woes, with centre Nick Miani sustaining a suspected fracture jaw in a collision with teammate Nelson Asofa Salamona, as well as winger Grant Anderson limping off with a knee injury. Melbourne initially asserted their dominance, racing to a 14-0 lead within the first 20 minutes. Winger Grant Anderson opened the scoring line with a try and a brilliant sequence involving Harry Grant and Jerome Hughes, followed by a second try from Eliza Katoa after a clever chip kick from the Cameron monster. Nick Meaney converted both tries, setting the stage for a commanding start. However, the Panthers clawed their way back into contention with their trademark great centre Paul Alamotti scored not one but two tries, showcasing his ability to capitalize on opportunities. With Cole assisting both efforts, the Panthers hit the 16-14 just 4 minutes after halftime when Casey McLean borrowed borrowed over from a 20-meter scrum, but the lead was short-lived. Xavier Coates responded swiftly for the Storm, reclaiming the advantage with spectacular take from a monster bomb. Shortly thereafter, Tyron Wishart extended Melbourne's lead 24-16 as the game became increasingly frenetic. So this was the aftermatch reaction.